So this past week was quite possibly the worst week I've ever had. It's like everything that could have gone wrong did. My classes were horrible. I failed a test. I had a job offer but lost it. My parents were fussing at me. Did horrible for my scholarship audition. It was just bad. Not to mention I was getting over the flu. So I'm thinking, can this week get any worse? And then Friday comes. TGIF. It's supposed to be good. No, I show up for my job here on campus. My boss is nitpicking at me, and I'm just thinking, geez, can I not catch a break? So at the end of the day, I walk to my room. I'm ready to pack up and go home for the weekend. And I walk in, and one of my very good friends had left me a little teddy bear and a card on my bed. And it was the most encouraging thing that happened to me last week. And sometimes I feel like one of my favorite quotes, you got to go through the storm to appreciate the rainbow. And just having that one moment where that card and that teddy bear brought so much encouragement to me, I remembered it's all worth it. Whatever you go through in life, it's going to be worth it in the end, no matter what struggle you encounter. And I feel like everyone, and especially us here tonight, we all experience struggles. And what are the struggles that we daily experience, and maybe that we've experienced in our life? It's probably not as simplistic as having a bad week, but I'm sure it's on a much grander scale. But what are some that we deal with in our lives as teenagers, Leslie, and as young adults?
Well, I am going to go ahead and say right now that I've been struggling as well, but it's been, I feel like I've been working so hard and getting nowhere. I have something within me that's not coming to pass. I have promises that I haven't been able to see. I have things that just, it's nothing right now. And I'm in that place where I'm drifting. And in the Bible it talks about when Noah was he built the ark and the flood came. And, it was 40 days and 40 nights, but that doesn't say it all. They were drifting for, I don't even know how much longer for the water to go down. It wasn't just the 40 days and 40 nights. So the drifting phases is what we have to just hold on through and remember God's promises, even when we don't see it, to just hold on. And so that's kind of where I'm at in a lot of different areas, but just trying to make it through.
And this week, my struggle has been kind of deciding where I want to go in life. I'm happy with school and I want to get my degree and everything, but it's kind of like, okay, do I really want to go through this another year or so? And I was just thinking about all the good things that could happen as far as me getting my degree, and then thinking about the bad things that could happen if I didn't get my degree. And I was like, in between, okay, it wouldn't be so bad if I did this. Some things in life are just well, if I do it, it won't be so bad. But I was like, I can't let go. God put me here. It was a blessing for me to be here. And I actually went and got a tattoo yesterday, and it says "Truly Blessed." And it made me think about it. I'm truly blessed. I'm blessed to be here. Some people do not get this opportunity, and I'm glad that I got it.
Last week, the devil came against me so strong. It was unbelievable because I had a really good spiritual high the week before. And that's when, I was really strong, and all of a sudden everything just crashed downhill. It was everything. And even it got to the point where me doubting being here at Emmanuel. And I've gone through almost a full year now, and I've never doubted 1 second of me being here. And all of a sudden, it just kind of hit me. I was at home, and I didn't want to come back. It was just, I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know what to do. And I prayed forever, and I cried, and I got mad, and then I just didn't want to talk to anybody. I just didn't know what to do. And I finally realized that if you're not going through a struggle, something's wrong.
That's true.
Because God tests you at your highest point. You have faith. The faith is a really strong value that you need to have. And I finally realized that I was going through that struggle to remind myself why I'm here and that this is where I'm supposed to be. And it was just a really rude awakening that I'm here for a reason, so you need to come out your purpose, that why you're here.
Exactly. You just said something that's very important, that you go through struggles to build your faith. And why do we go through struggles? I think that sums it up in the essence. You can't grow as a person you certainly can't grow as a Christian unless you're faced with certain difficulty. So why else do we go through struggle other than to experience faith at its fullest? You know?
I think me personally, like a couple of weeks ago, Leslie just went through this last week or this past weekend, and a couple of weeks ago I went through that very same thing, and I live in Chicago, we drove like 17 hours, I don't know why, but it was just a random weekend thing, and I was like, I'm home, you know, I surprised my dad.
For like 4 hours.
It was like 10. Like I was home and it was just like perfect, and I was just like, that's where I wanted to be. And I was spending time with my family and my cousins, and it's just like, this is what I'm missing out on, being at Emmanuel and missing my opportunities with my family. But we drove home Sunday morning, and Saturday night, I don't know what I was going through, you know. I cried. I was just like, I begged my mom. I was like, Mom, do not let me go back. I was like, don't let me go back. And she's like, no, you gotta go back. You know, you're there for a reason. God put you there for a reason. And I'm like, I'm not going back. So we drove to meet the girls to drive back to school, and I had met with my dad, and I was just bawling my eyes out. And my dad's like, what's wrong? Thinking I hurt myself or something. and my dad just like, he felt like, you know, he's missing me a lot too, and I'm such a daddy's girl. And that was really hard. And I was crying, and I was holding my dad, and my dad was holding me, and that was my biggest. We were driving home, and I was just like, what am I doing here? Why am I here? Why did you put me here? Why did you put me so far away from home? And realizing, like, I was in bed yesterday, I went to sleep early, and I was just like, you know, God put me here for a reason, and I'm glad that He put me here, so that's making me that much stronger, and that's for my future, to do the will that He wants me to do. So I think that's why, so.
Truly.
And sometimes it takes stepping out of that comfort zone. Like home, when you're there, you're comfortable, you feel love. I know everybody here, and then you're like, back to school. I know some people, but I don't know everybody. Yeah, like sometimes you feel by yourself. Definitely. You know, you may have all the friends in the world. You feel alone, but stepping out of that comfort zone, that might be what God is saying to you. Like, here's your strength right here. You taking that first step and stepping out. Like, God is like, okay, I'm working on you. I'm working on you. I'm working, and eventually it gets easier.
I think about Paul. You know, he was in a position in his life at the moment that he had his transformation on the road to Damascus, where he went from Saul to Paul. And in his position as Saul, he knew everybody that was important. You know, he was in the realm to be a Pharisee, so he had all the big wigs on his side. And the moment that his life transformed to Paul, the apostle that we know of in the Bible, he was a nobody. In fact, people were hunting him to kill him. And I think he could have easily crawled into the fetal position and said, no way, I'm not doing this. I do not accept this call on my life. But instead, like what we're having to do, he chose to face the difficulty, the struggles that he faced, which were overwhelming. We certainly don't have a clue what it's like, but I feel like he's one of the best examples of a biblical struggle, a person in the Bible that struggled.
One thing that we can't really grasp is the spiritual realm. You know, there's more than what we can see, and a lot of times God has released something our way. He's released the promises, like I was saying, that I couldn't see. They're on their way to me, and the devil can see it coming to me, so he's going to try to stop whatever it is. And in that, he's going to try and make me give up. And so that's why we want to stay at home. That's why we want to just ball up and say, I don't want to do this anymore.
Because he sees the potential. He may not see the ultimate outcome like the Lord does, but he sees the potential. And he's trying to stop it.
He's a hater.
For sure.
Haters everywhere we go.